Hello, Mustang football fans, and welcome to this week's edition of the Cory Sauter Show here at Studio One, Marshall Local Cable Access, and online at SMSUmustangs.com. I'm your host, Kelly Loft, Athletic Communications Director at Southwest Minnesota State University, and this week we will talk Mustang football with the head coach, Cory Sauter, as the Mustangs open up their season last Saturday with a tough loss to the University of Mary, 19-18. We'll talk about that game, take a look at the highlights, and then preview this week's game versus the University of Minnesota Crookston at the Schwann Regional Event Center. And joining us, as always, is the head coach, Cory Sauter, and lots to talk about, some highlights to see as well. But Coach, the Mustangs lose a heartbreaker, 19-18, SMSU, and a 15-point lead into the fourth quarter. And give Mary credit; they made some plays down the stretch. Obviously, we'll talk about some of the effects on Southwest side, some chances that we had to put the game away. But all in all, just a tough loss. And as you say, as the bottom line is, we just didn't get it done.
Yeah, no, the first game of the season, as we talked last week, there's a lot of unknowns, and with that, I thought our kids prepared properly. They were ready to play. They had good energy, all the things that you ask for out of your players. We had good control of the ball game for 3.5 quarters, and unfortunately, we came a point short. And you always go back and look at the game, and you try to find out where did we break down, where could we have won the game, and there's just a lot of them, not big things, but a lot of little things that added up to a loss. And as you mentioned, you got to give them credit. They battled back, they didn't flinch, they finished the ball game and we didn't, and now we're 0-1 and we got to dig ourselves out of that hole.
Well, we talked about last week how things can always be a little bit different each year to year. And you look at the scoring that Southwest had last year, and this year just 18 points in the first game, and it is just one game. But the defense, gave your team plenty of opportunities. It made Mary punt 8 times in the first 3 quarters of play. And your offense a little bit slow to start off, 3 and out the first couple of possessions, but you kind of started to see everybody click together because there's a lot of new parts on that offensive side of the ball.
There is, and as we talked, our offensive line, 5 new faces there. For the most part, I thought they handled it fairly well. We didn't give up any sacks. We didn't have any really critical errors, but we just need to play a little bit more aggressive up front. I thought we were a little bit tentative, and part of that is just the first game jitters and not sure who to block at times. But for the most part, I thought they put ourselves in position to at least execute our offense. And probably the most disappointing thing was just our red zone offense. We were able to get down there at times, but then we would have to either attempt a field goal or have to go for it on 4th down, or it just wasn't clicking. And so that's really the thing that we pride ourselves on, is scoring points, and that's how you win football games, is putting points on the board. So that's an area we definitely have to get better at. Defensively, I mean, they were playing lights out for again 3+ quarters and really shutting down their offense and putting a lot of pressure on their quarterback and making them feel uncomfortable. And so that was good to see. That was a huge change for us and from previous years. And then you look at special teams. We always look at big plays, right? Because that's where things happen. Special teams, big plays. We took a look at how many big plays that they had, how many big plays that we had, and we ended up winning that battle. And so I think we won 2 out of the 3 phases. And offensively, we executed our game plan. We didn't do anything extraordinary, but we also didn't, embarrass ourselves either. We were able to move the ball. We were able to, get in somewhat of a rhythm in the middle of the ball game. But again, just a lot of little things that we got to clean up going into week 2.
Well, a couple of things of note in that first half. Southwest backs to the wall defensively in the first quarter. Mary, a 1st and goal situation, and the Mustang defense forced a field goal attempt. Mary made it, took a 3-0 lead. Southwest had a 13-3 lead after a couple of touchdowns, but a missed extra point obviously hurt in the long run. But 13-3 lead. Mary has a chance late in the first half to get some points, maybe a touchdown, at least a field goal. They elect to go for it on the final play of the first half, and the defense, you know, everything you talked about, 2 goal line stands, that's a huge, big plays in this game the defense made, and unfortunately just despite that Mary was able to come back, and it kind of negated by Southwest with the getting stopped at the goal line in the third quarter and then having a pass intercepted off a tip ball in the red zone.
Yeah, no, it's just, you know, if we can just take one play, right? There's a lot of those moments where we can just take one play and change it. That's going to change the outcome of the ball game. You look at, you know, a potential. You know, the interception in the red zone, you know, down on the 23-yard line. We're driving, and we're talking about this far off between having a completion / first down and continuing to drive to turn the ball over, taking 3 points off the board at minimum, if not even 7. So it's a frustrating feeling because I thought we played solid, well enough to win that game. But there was a couple critical errors, you know, critical times that didn't allow us to win that one. And as I mentioned, you've got to give them credit because they were down and they didn't have too many answers for a while. And you know, all the way up to the last 2 drives, they weren't really able to move the ball. And you know, they hit us on a couple big ones, and you know, ultimately were able to win.
Well, let's talk, Coach, about a couple of newcomers that made significant impacts during the ball game. On the offensive side, Kevin Parks had a very good game for the Mustangs, 6 catches, 156, a couple of big plays in each half, long receptions, and a lot of different guys. Nathaniel Hewitt had a nice game, 4 catches, and Ty Stephenson. A lot of guys made their first career catches. Kind of talk about your thoughts on a lot of these newcomers on both sides of the football, because there were plenty of them on that Saturday.
Well, the nice thing is when we rotated guys in, you really didn't see any drop-off. You know, that was a good thing, good sign. You know, Parks had a really nice first game for the Mustangs, but then Hewitt went in and really replaced him and did a nice job whenever Parks needed a break. And you know, you look at you know, Nate Carr, who's playing tight end for us this year, former wide receiver, going in there and battling at that tight end spot, not only in an unattached look, but also next to the offensive tackle. It's a different world for him, so to speak, being next to all those big guys. So he made a nice catch or 2 inside, and it was just good to see all those guys rally, and just, it really doesn't matter who goes in, they're expected to get the job done. Same thing on defense. You see Madela going in there and making some plays. We'll see some of those on our highlights. But you know, just I thought all in all, everybody who was on that bus trip was suited up, ready to go, ready to play as if they're the starter. And that's what you want. And we're starting to get to a point where we have multiple guys that can play, and that's going to help us down the stretch, because, you know, it's inevitable, you know, with injuries and guys getting sore, dinged up, whatever, or just needs a break during the course of the game. We're going to have guys be able to step up to the plate.
Yeah, and on the defensive side, a couple of guys making their first starts. You look at Tyler Flood, had 13 tackles, and also Casey Hertz, 13 tackles to lead the way for Southwest. So a lot of guys getting some snaps that you know, played obviously in special teams and backup roles the last few years, but made some big impacts during their first game here for Southwest here during the 2014 season. So lots to talk about. About this ball game against the University of Mary. Mustangs lose 19-18. Right now we're going to take a look at some of the highlights from the first half between the Mustangs and the Marauders from Bismarck, North Dakota, in the season opener for both squads. And Coach, we start off here in the first half, and Mustangs on a third down, Charlie Kern to Nate Carr.
Yeah, here's what I'm talking about. Carr on a nice catch, really just over the middle, high throw. He comes down with it with a critical first down for us.
And here's a big run by Tyler Tonder, ripping off a 15-yarder, and then a face mask to boot.
Yeah, you can see here from the end zone, he really slips through this hole and you know, eludes the tackler, gets a little bit of a stiff arm developed, and then nice thing is we got 15 additional yards on top of that.
Later on in the drive, third down, and Charlie Kern breaks free for the touchdown.
Yeah, this is a design run for Charlie, and everybody blocked it perfectly. Receivers remained to be active on the outside, and we had a nice lane for him. Really nobody else out there, and that was just good to see us finally get on the board.
UMary goes for it deep in Mustang territory. Incomplete pass, good pressure by Blake Pennick.
Yeah, but anytime we can get a stop is huge, especially down here, and really overall defensively, I thought we did a much better job swarming to the ball carrier.
Just moments later, 47-yard completion, Kern to Parks.
Tell you what, nice pocket, but really a perfect throw. I mean, Charlie puts this one right on the money, and Parks gets a step on him and brings it down. But that's just good to see us having a deep threat. You need to have that in your offense.
Here's the touchdown. Mustangs go up 13-3. Tyler Tondrum.
A bounce and spin and burst to the pylon. That was a good way for us to get into the end zone.
Go back on defense, and Max Matala here with a couple of big plays here.
You can see him triggering right through this hole and wraps up. Really great form tackle there, and he'll be a good one.
And here's A.J. Page making his presence known here in the backfield.
Yep, had one sack on the day, but had many pressures, like this, that forced the quarterback to be on not very excited about dropping back.
And here is that sack for 2-yard loss. Page. Mustangs had a couple sacks.
Yeah, just a great effort by A.J. here, spinning through, and a nice ankle tackle there with those long arms. It was a nice play for us.
Here's the play right before halftime. The Mustangs get a big stop on 4th and goal with 6 seconds to go.
We were ready for this. This is something that they did against us last time we played, is get up to the line of scrimmage in a hurry and snap the football. Our guys were ready for it this time through, and as you mentioned, great momentum going into halftime. Having that 10-point lead, and you're feeling good about really the way our guys handled everything in the first half, especially defensively, and that's didn't quite work out the second half the way we wanted to.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Mustangs lead 13-3 at halftime. You go into the third quarter, and UMary gets the ball first. Your Mustang defense forces another stop on 4th down. And one thing we should talk about during the game is the wind conditions, and there was a pretty good breeze coming from one goalpost to the other, and that makes a difference on some of the plays. But we have to talk about the punting of Mike Wenk. We talked about last week how great his career has been here at Southwest, but he had some great kicks. Averaged almost 50 yards in his 7 punts, and a couple of it into the wind, and that's a huge factor. There's a few spots where the Mustangs were really pinned deep, and he was able to really switch the field, and that's a huge difference here, trying to score, having that ball at the plus 40 instead of the minus 40.
Right. Last year we didn't really have to use him very much, right? And so we need to get him to earn that scholarship this year a little bit more. But no, and on a serious note, that was part of our game plan, is not being afraid to punt. We wanted to make sure that we didn't do anything to really hurt ourselves offensively, just with all the new parts and pieces in place. And we certainly did that. Mike is very capable of punting 50, 60, even 70-yard punts, if he gets a hold of it. And so if we're in a situation where things aren't where we need to be, we're not going to be afraid to let that thing, punt it away, and let's play defense and play smart. And it's great to have a weapon like Mike, that's for sure. Yeah,
Mike finished 7 punts for 49-yard average, had a long of 64, which is just a couple of short of his career long of 66 yards, and he had 3 punts inside the opponent's 20-yard line. So again, the Mustangs led 13-3 at halftime. We're going to take a look at the second half highlights. And again, we talked about UMary got the ball to start the second half, and this is their drive, and they get a couple of nice plays here on defense. A tackle for loss by Page.
Yep, does a nice job shedding and getting into the backfield. He's very capable of making many of those per game.
And UMary goes for it on 4th down, and a big stop by Tyler Flood and Casey Hurts.
Yeah, no, I thought just overall defensively, just a great effort. A lot of guys to the football, and that's a team effort, on that side of the football.
Mustangs go back on offense. 3rd down conversion, Kern to Olson.
And again, it starts with protection. You'll see Charlie has a really nice pocket to step into, and nice thing here is Adam does a nice job just slowing down in that zone, and we were able to to just slow him down with the throw as well.
Another big connection, Kern to Parks on the bottom of your screen.
Another big play by Parks. Really, this one is all him. We put this one up where he could go up and make a play with it, but you can see here, I mean, this is all Kevin going up over a defender, coming down with it. That's a big-time play.
Tyler Tanner nearly breaks free here for a touchdown, gets stopped at the 3-yard line.
Yeah, and just nice blocking across the board. Get good push, get some of their defensive linemen on the ground, get to the perimeter, and puts us first and goal from the 3.
Unfortunately, Mustangs not able to get a touchdown there. They turn the ball over at the 1-yard line, and then some big plays here by the defense. Max Madela, almost a safety.
Yeah, almost a safety. It really was, and we had a couple of those, including this one.
Yeah, here's the safety, the punt off their own defender. Almost a touchdown if the Mustangs recover it. Unfortunately, gets knocked out of the end zone for a safety.
Yeah, very smart play by their punter, knowing that we need to get this thing out of here because this is not good. We don't want to give up a touchdown.
And the Mustangs add to the lead now in the fourth quarter, 18-3. Mike Wenk drills this 35-yard field goal.
Yeah, puts it right through. New long snapper with Hess, and operations perfect, and we put it through. That's good to see.
And then back in offense, Shanti Payne, Shanti with their big here, run of 12 yards.
Yeah, he came in and gave us some good quality reps. Very good back. He'll have a great future ahead of him, but I tell you what, we've got to make sure we get some time off for Tyler as well, just so we can keep him fresh.
Here's a big third down conversion for the Mustangs. They're at 47 yards, and Mustangs nearly broke it open here, and this is unfortunately the drive where the Mustangs could not get any points to seal the victory.
Yeah, we just took a 5-yard out and almost turned it into 50 yards, and just again another example of Kevin Parks being able to get yards after the catch, and he does have that big playability, and he's a good player, and we just got to make sure that we get everybody involved, keep everybody involved with our offense. We'll be just fine. And
of course, that gave the Mustangs a first down to about the 23-yard line of U-Mary. Just a couple of minutes to go, but unfortunately not a first down, and elected to go for a fake field goal attempt. We were just short on that, and then U-Mary came down and picked up a big fourth down conversion on that drive, and then scored with 23 seconds to go. And that was kind of a microcosm there of kind of the game, those missed opportunities, and we had a couple of chances, as you mentioned, in the red zone, 3 of 5. Last year we were at an 86% clip of scoring, at least getting some points in the red zone, but you would get one first down there, and get a little bit closer, you could kick a field goal, and then the game's over.
Yeah, there's just too many things. Yeah, that's what drives you nuts as a coach. You prepare, you do everything. We do pretty much everything right, except for just a couple little things, and came back to haunt us. It makes a long, long ride from Bismarck coming back to Marshall. But that's football. We had a situation like that last year when we played Bemidji at their place, and we gave up a 10-point lead and ended up losing, and that was a tough feeling, the same type of feeling that we feel right now, and hopefully our kids will bounce back the same fashion that we did when we did that. And the main thing for us is we need to get out to the practice field. I mean, we should have practiced when we got back, because that would have felt much better than it did, just sitting around watching the film and all that. We've got to get this thing behind and then move on. That's the best thing that'll happen for us. So main thing, our seniors, our leadership has to make sure everyone stays intact. We don't stray, we don't lose sight, we don't lose focus of our mission, and just a lot of football games we played yet this year, and we can't just give up on one game. Well,
I was just going to say there's still 10 more of these games left at least, and so there's lots to play for, obviously, and a game that was right there for the taking. But the best thing is there's no bye weeks. We have to go right at it this week, and Minnesota Crookston obviously not going to feel sorry for the Mustangs at all. They're coming off a loss to Augustana. Let's talk about what UMC brings. Obviously, it's still early in the week. You're just digesting this game, and you talked about 24 hours, win, lose, you got to forget about it now and as you said here on Monday, we need to just start focus up on UMC because, as I mentioned, they're hungry for a victory as well, and it's a home opener, so lots to play for here, and still with lots of season left to go.
Yeah, no, they're coming off a tough loss, and I'm sure they're sitting there looking for answers, and they're going to be very motivated to get things back on track as well. So we have two football teams that are going to be very hungry to win a football game. You don't want to start out 0-2, and so there's a sense of urgency with this game. But at the same fact, you look at just what we're doing. We're really not going to focus really hardly at all on Crookston. Really, we're just going to call them an opponent. I mean, it really doesn't matter if it's Crookston or Mankato or St. Cloud or Duluth or whoever. We have an opponent to play coming up this week, and so that's just our focus on us. Let's get better. Let's not feel sorry for ourselves. I mean, that's what losers do. I mean, let's be honest. Everybody wants to feel sorry for themselves, and we're not going to allow that to happen. And tell you what, I'm pretty jacked up about playing at home here and getting our crowd behind us and really having a good quality showing here this upcoming Saturday.
Yeah, it should be a fun night at the Schwann Regional Events Center. The Mustangs taking on Minnesota Crookston, the 2014 home opener. 6 o'clock is the kickoff at the stadium as the Mustangs have their 6th game home schedule this year. This is the first of the 6, and again, 6 o'clock kickoff at the Schwann Regional Events Center. And before we go, Coach, we should mention also, second year now we've done the Tackle Cancer, and that's coming up here for this Saturday. A great benefit there that football programs all over the state and the high school and college ranks getting behind with the Cancer Foundation and Randy Shaver, and just kind of a great thing to do to get people to the game and obviously to support a great cause.
Yeah, Randy Shaver and Dave Nelson from Minnetonka, they've kind of got this thing going now, and obviously we're all on board. We want to make sure that we give 100% support with that. So like last year, we're going to have t-shirts available. So if you make a $10 donation or more, you will get a free t-shirt as well. So it's a good deal, great cause, and all 100% goes to them. And I think it'll be neat, especially too with us, having our home opener and having that tied with it. It's going to be a neat deal, and we've got some nice bright t-shirts for guys, for people to wear, and it'll be a neat thing for everybody.
All right, great. For more information, go online, smsumustangs.com. There's a story about that event as well, so take a look at that if you get an opportunity. So again, the Mustangs and Minnesota Crookston, 6 o'clock at the Schwann Regional Event Center this Saturday, September 13th, here in town. So come on out, cheer on the Mustangs. Should be a beautiful Saturday night for some college football. For the head coach, Cory Sauter, I'm Kelly Loft. Thanks for watching this week's episode here at Studio One and at smsumustangs.com. Until next week, go Mustangs.